we obviously are all concerned about keeping the capital bill and the road bill alive. We want people working. We want the improvements done to the roads and all the other infrastructure needs we've been dealing with over the last few months. So we're clearly supportive of continuing the capital bill. And as you know, we voted for one last May.
Are you concerned, though, about a special session where, maybe precious little gets done?
Well, at the end of the day, the one thing we need to get done is making sure there's an appropriation for the capital bill, and we will be supportive of those efforts. For the idea of a 12-month budget, that's one we supported in May, and we'll continue to advocate for that.
Some of your colleagues have argued that the governor can continue to spend, though, and that this is just something forced.
Yeah, look, the governor has a lot of authority in this arena, and he's taken the position that he doesn't have that authority, and I'll take him at his word. If there's someone that's got a different approach, we can look at it. But right now, the governor says we can't, and that he's going to stop the spending. And I don't think that does anybody any good.
And there's no agreement on how to move forward on that yet, is our understanding?
No, I think everyone's going to talk to their caucus. As I said, we worked on a capital bill 2 years ago. We worked in a bipartisan way. We'd like to keep it intact, and we need to do this. There are a lot of jobs in jeopardy and a lot of infrastructure improvements.
There was a lot of cooperation in the House to craft the budget that is sitting on the governor's desk. Is that sort of relationship between Republicans and Democrats in the House holding?
Oh, sure. Look, as I said early on, we took our political hat off. There's a lot of problems in the state. We want to work with this. We wanted to work with the Speaker and the Senate, and we did. And I hope we can continue to do that.
Have you communicated that to Senate President Cullerton that there is no support to spend additional money if we come back to Springfield next week?
Well, I think that I don't think you'll see that happening next week. I think that we're happy with our budget. Look, we're always willing to talk, but at the end of the day, we like that 33.2 figure. We worked with the Speaker on it, and we think it's a good budget. It finally, for the first time in 9 years, has a limit on what we spend. It doesn't spend more than the revenues, and if we happen to have more revenues, we'll use it to pay down bills. I think that's a good blueprint for moving forward.
Who needs to blink here?
Well, I don't know that this is a game about blinking. I think at the end of the day, we all need to be concerned about jobs and the infrastructure needs, and we're going to be committed to working with everybody to get that done.
Would you be willing to vote for the Senate bill with the additional spending, although they say it's paid for with other funds?
No. We voted no in May, and that's not something that I believe our caucus supports at this moment.
But is the whole program being held up for that extra money at this point?
Well, you're going to have to ask. That's not something I'm conditioning, okay? I voted for a budget and I voted for a capital bill, and those things are over in the Senate, and the budget's on the governor's desk. So we've made it pretty clear where we are. Again, at the end of the day, we want to make sure there's a capital bill and a road program, and we're going to advocate for that.
Who did most of the convincing in there? Was it the governor trying to convince the legislative leaders, or was it Senate President Cullerton trying to convince you to spend
Well, I think
more?
everybody had their say, and clearly the President's working on behalf of his caucus, as I am on behalf of mine, and the Speaker and Christine. So we all are doing what we think is right for our caucuses, but I think we all know we need to get this done.
Doesn't sound like any progress was made.
It's the first time we've met together in a while, and I think that's a good sign. And I'm hopeful that as we move forward, we'll have some finality on this capital bill.
Will the governor be
One day
shutting
next
down?
week?
Will he start the shutdown on Friday?
He said he's thinking about it, but you'll have to ask him where he's going with that. I'm not about to speak for him, but he certainly did allude to that.
One day next week for special session?
I think we're going to be there at least on Wednesday. I don't have the power or the authority to set special session days, but I believe at this point we're looking at Wednesday.
Is that
Thanks,
when you
guys.
plan to consult with your caucus, is on Wednesday?
I'm going to do a little talking over the next few days.